Panther Nation, football fans, to another edition of Growlin and Prowlin. I am, of course, Mr. CeeLo, coming back at you, talking all things Carolina Panthers, from the preseason to the regular season, to the postseason to the Super Bowl, from the offseason to the draft, and currently OTAs. Then let the growling begin. What's going on, good Panther fans? I'm just back at you for another opportunity to present some awesome news and hopefully some really great news. But first, we got a little bit of house cleaning doing. First things first, make sure you go over to our Facebook page. It's called Growlin and Poundin'. I'm going to be changing that really soon, you guys. And check out the new poll that we have up. It's concerning the video that we have up tonight. Many of you took part in the initial one that we had last week, which was, should the Panthers add Newt Hopkins to the receiver room? And there were 50% of you said yes. And I put another one back up there tonight to see if any of you had changed your opinions. But go over to our Facebook page and friend us, and hopefully something else I need to add, guys. I've got a couple of subscribers that I don't know. I'm unable to find out who subscribed to the channel. So if you're subscribed to the channel, please go over to the Facebook page and add yourself by going to our message. Send us a message, or as they say, DM me or IM me over there. Or IM me on Instagram at Mr. CeeLo on Instagram. I'm going to have a couple of reels up after I do this video. So please check me out on Instagram as well. And if you're a fan of the channel, go over and subscribe. But as I said, if you're a subscriber, go over to our Facebook and let us know that you've subscribed. Because once we get to 100, we're going to take all our first 100 subscribers, put them into a Carolina Panther helmet. I'm working on that. And draw for the Bryce Young jersey that I have coming. I initially said in one of our videos that it was going to be the white jersey, but that's been one that's very difficult to locate. So we actually have a team color blue coming in. So you guys keep getting those subs up, and if you know anybody that's a fan of the Carolina Panthers, refer them to this platform so that we can get it up and we can get this jersey on somebody's back. But let's go ahead and let's get into the monologue. As you see, Newt Hopkins to the Carolina Panthers. Yes, this could be a real possibility, Panther fans. Let's just look at what we have so far. I was reading an article a couple of weeks ago, and it was a real possibility that the Carolina Panthers were going to be involved in this sweepstakes, and this sweepstakes being DeAndre Hopkins, whom was released last Friday. But according to Cody Benjamin of CBS Sports, he recently named the Panthers as a potential landing spot via a trade. Now, along with top betting markets regarding a trade, because Hopkins, of course, played at Clemson, and this is home for him. And we look at the amount of compensation that the Panthers would have had to give up in a trade. It, in my opinion, only makes sense that the Panthers would be involved in this now that he's a free agent and can go wherever he wants. I look at it from the standpoint of, well, Newt Hopkins is still got superstar value. He is still a valuable piece and would be an extremely valuable piece to the receiving room. Let's look at what the pros and the cons of signing him would be, because we already know what Newt Hopkins brings to the table, but let's go through and do some dabbling into what Newt Hopkins' career has looked like. First of all, he's 6'1", 212 pounds. He's 30 years old. He'll be 31 in June 6th. But let's go and look at the numbers. Of course, he's mostly known for the Hail Murray. He's got some of the biggest hands that they've recorded and so on and so forth. But let's look at his numbers. I mean, you're talking about let's exclude year one and last year because he played with some really bad quarterbacks. And I know people are going to say, well, he played some bad quarterbacks in Houston as well. But let's look at his productive years. Let's look at 2015. 111 receptions, 15-21, 11 scores. What really jumps out at you about Nuke Hopkins is you look at the 3-4 times he's caught 100 plus balls, and even 2017 he caught 96. And of course, we all know those are the Deshaun Watson era. Those are the years that he was there. So let's really dabble into these numbers. I mean, your last full season. He had Deshaun. He was with Deshaun Watson. He had 1,100. It was kind of low. No, excuse me. Yes, that's correct. And you're talking about 115 to 1,572 yards, 11 more scores. This is a guy who made Deshaun Watson so much better when he was on the field. You're talking about a guy who is just really, really phenomenal. And then we look at Kyler Murray, his first year with Kyler Murray, and it was nothing short of extraordinary. And then we see, I think he had 6 games. He was out 6 games here, 6 games here, which is why those numbers tailed off so roughly. And leaving a lot of people with the thought process of, well, this guy doesn't have much in the tank. No, I beg to differ. I still think at 31, he would give us a huge boost just looking at the guy has 71 touchdowns, and then you look right here in the middle between, 20, arguably 2013, 2014, where the lack of production was really not there, and then you look at a couple of times, even when you're looking at a guy whose quarterback play has been suspect at best. So you're basically, dabbling into a guy who makes his quarterbacks better. And I honestly think this would be just a phenomenal fit for the Carolina Panthers and Bryce Young. But let's look here at what options, what we've heard from other sports reporters like Jeremy Fowler and individuals at ESPN and CBS have said. They've said that according to certain, I believe there was a prop that said that the Panthers were not only third, second, or I think they were fourth in the betting line behind Kansas City, Baltimore, and the New York Jets, given an 11% chance to sign DeAndre Hopkins. And me personally, I'm looking at, don't get me wrong, the Jets have a lot to desire, as well as I'm sorry, the Cowboys were number one at 22%, the Jets, Kansas City Chiefs. But I'm looking at what people are putting out there. There's a lot of ESPN analysts that are saying Buffalo's over the hump. But I look at Kansas City. Kansas City is not going to be a good fit because that defense last year, and I'm listening to guys like Tyler Boyd and many of the games that they won last year, against, even the ones against the Jaguars, they're not going to keep getting away with it. Their defense is not good. DeAndre Hopkins said that's one of the things he wants, is he wants to play for a good defense. He wants to be able to play for a team that has a quality defense and can make plays. We check that box. Not only, the one that the hometown is a huge box that we check. Then let's go to the Jets. You play with Aaron Rodgers. The thing about that is, and I was listening to an analyst say that Aaron Rodgers is a guy that has to trust whom he's throwing to. Now, D-Hop has that box checked to a degree because of his reputation. What I believe is this may be a clash of egos. Now Nuke Hopkins has never shown he has an ego out in front, but we can tell by the moves that he's made in Arizona and the moves that he's made in Houston that he has somewhat of an ego. I'm not going to say a big one. I would say one where he wants to win. And I would say Jimmy Butler-esque, if you will. That's the NBA Finals reference, if you will. I've got a show that's coming up. Going to be called Hardwood Chat. So, that's a little nugget in there for that. But he does have. I think all receivers have to have some sort of not arrogance, but a cockiness in order to play the position. You have to be able to have that swag, and he definitely has the swag, but in a somber, cool type of way. But as I said, we're looking at bookies and odds makers, and it's showing that the Panthers are near the not the bottom, but they're the third team tied with the Jets and so on, Jets and the Chiefs to get them at 11.8%. That's not saying that it's slim. They got the Cowboys at 22%. I don't think the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys have the cap space. And the thing about this is Dak Prescott is so up and down. People are going to say, well, Bryce Young is an unknown. So does DeAndre Hopkins want to come into the Valley of the Unknown? And I don't know if that's what he wants to do. But I think at this course in his career, being 31 and having the talent around him. Now, we don't have a true number one. I get that. But we do have some guys that have the ability to make some moves with this type of talent here. Being Terrace Marshall, DJ Shark, Laviska Shenault, as if any of you don't know, he's been getting really good reps at OTAs. And that's been a real pleasant surprise for the Panthers and the wide receiver room. And I think if you add Nuke Hopkins, I was sitting here thinking a couple weeks ago the wide receiver room was going to be fine. And then, of course, you have Adam Thielen. And you've got Shi Smith. And it's just, you're looking at it and you're saying, and of course, Terrace Marshall, and you're saying, we have enough. If Bryce Young is that guy. But I think you have to give a rookie QB, even the one with the poise and the magician skills as Bryce Young, you have to give him that first year to build confidence. Year one needs to be a confidence builder for any quarterback. And from what we're gathering is there's been a lot of setup for easy throws in the OTAs as we know of at the moment. So I'm thinking this is going to be an offense geared around short, easy throws and possibly a lot of deep throws that are going to be easy throws. And I know people say there's no easy deep throw. But when teams geared up to think that they're going to get beat just dinking and dunking, even Tom Brady was able to throw it deep because he was dinking and dunking so much down the field that people were just like, gosh, this guy's just hammering us. We got it. We got to get to him. We got to cover up the front. And you end up either bringing the safeties up or you end up having the corners jam and allowing the free release to the safeties, and it allows the safety to be in one-on-one, which nobody wants to have happen. But back to the point at hand, I think Nuke Hopkins coming here is a realistic possibility. The problem is, there really has not been an overture to him yet. From what we know, we have heard no kind of, whether it's been Scott Fitterer or the owners or even the coaches have not reached out to Nuke Hopkins. But like I said, right now it's a free-for-all. I think we need to go after him. If you asked me 2 weeks ago when I did my video on the receiver rooms, which one of these guys, which by the way, I encourage you guys to go look at the receivers that we currently have. I think it would be a good look into what we have. I think for the most part, it's called Bryce Young's Secret Weapon. Definitely go check it out. I think we adding him to the would be a phenomenal addition, especially for Bryce Young and even the receiving core, because it would allow these guys to get into to go to another level, because he can teach some of these guys the way, just like we would ask Brian Burns, and it's to teach Amari Barno and DJ Johnson, who is also having strong OTAs, being DJ Johnson. But Bryce Young's a guy that he needs another weapon of that magnitude. And I think losing DJ Moore, the Carolina Panthers should have been in Scott Fitterer should have been looking for this. And I mean, I totally forgot, Mingo. I think Mingo is going to be a great addition as well. But then you're talking about two young guys in Terrace Marshall and Mingo. Just a year or two with DeAndre Hopkins could be the difference between these guys blossoming into superstars. That was why I thought the DJ Moore maturing into the type of star he was just amazing, considering the type of quarterback play and the lack of a real superstar wide receiver in his presence. But I think it's kind of risque to say, okay, Terrace Marshall, let's see if you can evolve into a true number one in your third year, and let's see if Thomas Brown can come up with schemes to get you to that point. I think that's kind of hard to do, and I think the Carolina Panthers, if they make this move, this solidifies my claim that the Panthers can go to the Super Bowl. But the other thing is we're getting close to the going into full-fledged OTAs, and then there's training camp. We need to get this done ASAP. Any team that's going to do it. I think the Carolina Panthers, we've got over $27 million in cap space. If we can go, Scott Fitterer, if you can offer this guy $15 to $20 million, you go at it. Listen, you go deep into this. You go offer him that money. You go offer him that. And there's a lot of people that are saying, oh, no, we can't do that. We can't afford to do that. Listen, it's a 1-year deal or 2-year deal. Listen, you cannot afford. If you can get a all-pro, super talented, maybe aging, but he still has not shown signs of slowing down. Bryce Young, you get him in the room with Bryce Young, I guarantee it. What you guys said is true about Bryce Young. DeAndre Hopkins will want to play here. Scott Fitterer, get on the phone. Get Newt Hopkins. Get him here. Get him here. Let's go and take a look at a few things that I believe that would make him a huge asset. Of course, we talked about the Carolina Panthers would get their huge number. They would get their huge number one that they've been needing. People talk about him being 31 years old at the start of the season, but people keep saying his best football is behind him, and that quote comes from Evan Birchmore. I disagree with him. I'm going to say he's got at least 2 more years. I disagree with you, Evan. I think he's got some more football left in him, some great football left in him. It all depends on whether or not this guy is going to be able to get in the right system. I think this Frank Reich system is very friendly. I think Frank and Thomas Brown are going to do what they have to get this guy the ball, because here's the thing. If you're getting Newt Hopkins the ball, other guys are going to be very important and intricate to getting this offense off the ground. When you have that, it makes the other guys around him much better. And that's what happens. You start to have other guys that are balling out, and when other guys are starting to ball out, you start to see a greater push of the ball down the field. And when the ball is being pushed down the field, historically, the Carolina Panthers have been contenders. Let's not even think about it. There was only one season we weren't pushing the ball down the field, and that was not the Super Bowl year, but that was the NFC title year in 96. 96, I think it was. Yeah, 96. But the year in 03 and 2015, we were pushing it down the field, y'all. We were really racking up the yards and touchdowns on bombs. And like I said, I think when you start looking at it, a lot of people are talking about the age factor. And that's the thing. When people start to really analyze where the Panthers' weaknesses have been, it's either been at the wide receiver position or the quarterback position. And see, we have not had a talent like this since Muhsin Muhammad. And I would argue Kelvin Benjamin. Kelvin Benjamin had a pretty good season, but it was just one season. I was very disappointed when he couldn't get it done, as well as several other guys that we've drafted in the past. I'm waiting on Tommy Tremble. I'm really waiting on Tommy Tremble to get going. I hope Thomas Brown can open this guy up and get him to become the guy. Oh, Devin Funchess was the guy I was thinking about. Because, you know, I was really big on Devin Funchess when he came out of Michigan. I don't understand the disconnect there. And, you know, a lot of people will say that he just couldn't get open. But I thought he was a guy that you needed to use in jump ball situations, and we didn't utilize him correctly. And I don't know. I just think DeAndre Hopkins needs to be a Carolina Panther. I really do. I think he needs to be here. I think we need to go out there and, you know, listening to people saying that we've got more urgent needs to spend our money on, according to, once again, Evan Birchmore. He says that we've got more pressing needs. I disagree with that. I think we've addressed a lot of those needs. I believe we've addressed a lot of them. And I think the only issues that I feel like we've really got to address is this one. You know, we've really got to. And, you know, you got people talking about adding another edge rusher. I don't think so. I think if you add another edge rusher, I think it's going to inhibit the growth of what DJ Johnson has been able to do in this OTAs. They've got the coaches are raving about him in the OTAs. They're talking really good about him. I want to hear about my boy Barno, though. But I don't want to make this about defensive ends. But we're looking at Spot Track is currently giving Hopkins a calculated value of $23.2 million annually. And that's 3 times more than the top wideout on the roster. So you're talking about adding a number 1. Folks, I can't stress this enough. If you guys are on your channels or you're on your Facebook pages, your group chats, listen, we need to push for the Panthers to move for Nuke Hopkins. We do. You know, we need to. Not just because he's a hometown boy, not just because he looks good, he gives us the superstar player to go with Bryce Young. But listen, guys, when the Carolina Panthers have been successful, we've been under the radar. Now, if Nuke Hopkins says he does not want to come to Carolina, that's different. That is different. At least we gave the option. We don't need to do like we did with Josh Norman years ago. Let this guy walk, pulling back the deal that we were going to give him, or Hassan Reddick not even putting an offer on the table, or even Deontay Foreman not even putting an offer on the table. Scott Fitterer, don't play. Don't play. Go and make the deal. Anyway, let me hear what you guys think. Go to the Facebook page and check us out at Growlin and Pounding. Let me know what you think. Give me an idea what you guys want. Let me know what you want to see. And tell me what if you guys have any ideas for other videos. Let me know what you want us to do. What other topics you want. Also, hit me up on my personal Instagram page. Let me know how you like the reels that we got. And let me know if there's any other things you want to see. But also, go to the Facebook page and let us know what you think about the poll that we have. What's your opinion? Should we add him? Should we add Nuke Hopkins to our wide receiver room? But that's going to do it for us. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, keep prowling the airwaves and keep growling out. Keep pounding.